because you might have been a selfish lover, okay, or some other problems going on, or two, you ran and told everybody. So now we as women be like, I ain't never gonna get this ninja no pussy again. He talk too much. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Jenifer Lewis, the mother of Black Hollywood, a memoir. When Gregory and I performed together the previous year, our flirtations were pretty minor, and I was among the few women on the Broadway scene with whom Gregory hadn't had sex. Although there was that one time after the first act in Ubi, we came off stage exhausted from the last number. Let me tell you what this crazy girl did. They came off stage, they tired as hell, okay? They both panting, okay, sweating because they just did some kind of, kick, roll, punch move. Gregory, he got to break it down, and she got to try and keep up with him. She's like this, Gregory, go get me some water. Greg is like, go get you some water. She's like, yes, Greg, I'm tired. He's like, tired? Bitch, we both tired. We both just got off the stage. Okay, Greg, look, if you go get me some water, I'll let you suck my titty. I have no idea what would make her say that. But she said that ninja flew up the steps like the red Power Ranger. You hear me? And came back down with some water like this. Here you go your water. Can I suck your titty now? She said that she was like, Gregory, you really don't think I'm about to pull my titty out and let you, suck it. It's like, hell yeah, I got you the water, didn't I? Unbelievable. That ninja really did, suckle her. And she said she was squirming, but for real, it was feeling good, right? But it never went no further than that. Girl, that's far enough. That's third base, girl. So when Gregory showed up at my apartment with the wine, there was no hesitation on either sides of our parts. And we quickly took our relationship to a new level on the kitchen counter. Anyway, she said they were so messed up and having so much fun that they both ended up in the lobby downstairs naked. Luckily, they got back upstairs before people noticed that they was downstairs in the lobby naked. Oh, to be young, silly, and free. Years later, I started to regale some friends with my Gregory story. My good friend Lorraine Fields stopped me cold and said, oh, Jenifer, Gregory told everybody that story the day after it happened. Oh, I hate a nigga that can't keep his mouth shut. I hate you big mouth ninjas. You big mouth ninjas, let me explain to you something. When a woman sleep with you and it be one time, it's either because, one, it wasn't good, because you might have been a selfish lover, okay, or, some other problems going on, or two, you ran and told everybody. So now we, as women, be like, I ain't never gonna get this ninja no pussy again. He talk too much. During my break from the UB tour, I enjoyed dates with several guys from the corral of men I had assembled in New York. Besides Ken, there was Ron and Patrick. But then I was forced to go to Roosevelt Hospital with a raging yeast infection. The burning was terrible. Fortunately, it cleared up by the time Miguel called. See what I mean about them nutty butts? I mean, a yeast infection, you can't, we can't help that, girl. But when you using them condoms, girl, sometimes you could be they had condoms back then, didn't they? They did. But anyway, them condoms sometimes will give you rashes, girl, and all kinds of infections and stuff like that. And I don't think they done came up with the lambskin condom yet. The burning was terrible. Fortunately, it cleared up by the time Miguel called. He was back from the Dominican Republic and invited me to Brooklyn. When he opened his apartment door, we fell upon each other and I sucked his entire body. As I'm saying, hold on. I loved him so much. No other man got this kind of attention from me. I said, this kind of attention? What is she talking about? Attention. Oh! She talking about that special attention, okay? Because she like, no other man got it. It's like she clarifying in the book, look, I might be hunching around, but the only ding-a-ling that I'm, flatulating is Miguel. The first night back on the UB tour in Kansas City, I met a conventioneer named Nick at the hotel bar. A day later, we had sex. I felt terrible. How could I have sex with a stranger right after sharing such a beautiful time with Miguel? He deserves better from me. Nick showed me a picture of his girlfriend back home. Her name was Becky, and she was a home economics teacher. He called me from the airport. Poor baby. He loves me. No, he ain't loves you. He pussy whipped. The combination of my guilt about Miguel and the stress of having my family in town made me irritable, which caused some bad blood with a couple of members of the UB tour. I felt remorse about being on the outs with my castmates, but I just didn't know how to fix it. I lacked certain social skills. I had no boundaries. I teased and joked and often went too far. I also always flat out spoke my mind, resulting in people either loving me or hating me. Let me just tell all the people that love me, thank you so much for loving me, because I can be that person too. Believe me, I can definitely rub somebody the wrong way, all right? And that's all I have to say about that. As the evening wore on, I went with my castmates to a disco where I continued to drink, trash talk, and act out. By the time I went back to my room, I was a drunken mess. Crying, I called Debbie and Miguel, but their words of comfort did not help much. Afterward, I still felt sad as I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, God, what is wrong with me? The show went great. So what's wrong, baby? You're depressed. A couple of days later, I met Timmy and Billy for drinks. They brought along an older man named Jack. Now, Timmy and Billy are a couple of her good fan Jews. He was an alcoholic, which I saw as dangerous and exciting. I thought, so what? I'm all about those things too. I brought him back to my room and had sex with him. I might have gotten gonorrhea from him. Or maybe it was Nick from Kansas City. It scared me, and I was much more careful from then on. Didn't I tell you about the nutty butt? See, she around here, girl. You get the nutty butt one time, it'll change your life.
In high school, my nickname was Killer. On account of my sharp tongue and pushy nature in college, I was dubbed Majestic for my commanding theatrical ability and queenly behavior. People had catered to me because I was talented, cute, and charismatic. Often, I received special treatment, or I would get people to laugh and be forgiven for my transgressions. As a result, I did not develop certain social skills, collaboration, and conciliation that were necessary in a touring theater company and in life in general.
So, I'm 17. I'm at Roosevelt. I'm in school with one of my best Judies. Her name is Sandy. Sandy, I still love you wherever you are, okay? But I was having my best year, okay? Was that the year that they told me? No. The 11th grade year was a good year. I was acting right because one of my Judies was there. It was funny. We just went to school just to be with each other. One time I was walking back into the school by myself, okay? I wasn't with my Judy Sandy. I think Sandy was spending time with her boyfriend, right? And I was walking back to school, and the dude told me, and I will never forget this man's name was Ron, okay? He was one of the, like I say, adult counselors, or just somebody to help around the school, right? And he had said to me, he said, listen, Nay, you're going to have a very easy life because of the way you look. I was like, the way I look. And at that time, I didn't think I was beautiful at all. I didn't think I was attractive because, like I said, I was standing in the wings of Mick, my mother, who was exceptionally beautiful, Honeybee, exceptionally beautiful. You know, I just didn't think that I was an attractive girl. You know, I had bitches that purposefully did mean things to me because they thought that the whole world is giving her a pass. I'm not going to give her a pass, you know, but bitch, it's not your job to give me a pass. It's not your job to be mean to me because you think that the world thinks that I'm pretty. I think I'm beautiful because I look like my mother and my grandmother. That's why I think I'm beautiful. And those two women are the most beautiful women in the world to me. Yes, a diva is admirable and a queen, but she is also a self-centered, demanding bitch. During the UB tour, my divitude flourished, unfortunately, in both senses of the word. Speaking of divas, when I went with several company members to see the incomparable singer, Carmen McRae, the great George Benson was in the audience. Following the show, I went to Miss McRae's dressing room to tell her how much I appreciated all that she'd contributed to the art of singing. To my surprise, she squeezed my hand and openly flirted with me. It made me uncomfortable. Remember, it was 1980, and lesbianism was still pretty taboo. I have never had a problem with people's sexuality, but be you man, woman, goat, rooster, rhinoceros, don't be squeezing my hand with your sweaty palms. I'm kind of thrown off by that because I don't recall a woman squeezing your hand meaning that they want to knock you down. I don't recall that. I've never squeezed a girl hand, you know, intending for them to say, hey, Nay wants to knock me down. I wonder if there was anything else in addition to squeezing your hand that would make her feel that. Like, what did she do? Did she squeeze her hand and lick her tongue at you and that joint right there? Like, because squeezing your hand is not an indication that somebody wants to suck you. The next morning, the Boston Herald featured me in a spread with a half-page photo taken in front of the theater. I was ecstatic and mailed copies of the review to Mama, as I always did. But my joy was fleeting. I was feeling unnerved, isolated, and alone. Now that I was living my dream, why was I sad and confused all the time? Toward the end of the Boston run, I flew to New York City a couple of times to spend time with Miguel. I was disappointed to find he was not in the mood for making love. Maybe because you gave him the nutty buddy. He had more pressing issues on his mind. Nobody was hiring Dominicans, even ones with a PhD and 2 master's degree. I felt for him deeply. Within 2 days, I met a new man at a disco, an Ethiopian named Joe. I wrapped my legs around him as we danced. Reaching for his 3rd leg, I took him straight home. But God bless him. His pickle was so small that I told him, honey, the only place you can put that is in my ear. I faked a sudden headache and escorted him out with a smile. Poor bastard. I'd have been like, come here then, let me stick it in your ear. Boston was done, and we moved on to Toronto, Canada. I was excited the entire trip to Toronto because it was the first time someone in my immediate family had left the United States. I had yet to meet a man in Toronto, so I hung out a lot with the other gypsies. Later, Roderick and I went and did the show. The reviews were great, singling out my performance. I was getting ovations, but it was becoming the same old, a routine. In addition, the pressure of the backstage drama was getting tough. I was seriously thinking about leaving the tour. I was unhappy and welcomed some one-on-one time with Terry, a true friend. She invited me to her room and we talked about me becoming more aware of other people's space and being more disciplined. I asked her if the other cast members liked me. She said, Jenifer, everybody loves you. You're talented, you're fun, you're fabulous. You just come off as intimidating. You need to calm down, girl. Girl, that's the nice way of saying, bitch, you are an asshole. Thank goodness we got off the subject and started sharing our excitement about going to see Tina Turner the next day. When Tina came on stage and opened with Disco Inferno, my own body was so filled with electricity. My head damn near exploded. There she was, all legs, hips, arms, and hair. So much messing hair. So much hair. It was all I could do not to just run the F up there and fall to my knees and weep. All hail the queen. We were allowed backstage. Tina's assistant opened the door and led us into her dressing room. And there she stood, the Miss Rolling on a River, Miss Shake a Tail Feather, Miss Nutbush City Limits, Miss Rock Me Baby. Tina's legs were as long as the Mississippi River. Though she was just standing there, it was as if her hips were still gyrating. As she opened her arms to embrace me, her wingspan was that of a golden eagle. And in the raspy voice, she said, how's everybody? By the way, there's a rumor on the internet that I auditioned to play Tina in the 1993 movie version of her life. What's love got to do with it? I did not. The reason I wasn't asked to audition for the role of Tina was because my titties were too big. Too bad, because I could have sung that motherfucker and acted the hell out of it. Bitch better have my money. Anyway, nobody could have played the role as well as Angela Bassett. Hanging out with the girls and the gay boys was fun, but I was on a hunt for a straight man. I had started to recognize that I needed regular sex. Without it, I felt scattered and moody, like I was coming apart at the seams. Ooh, you can't send her ass to jail. She go to jail. She ain't gonna make it. A couple of weeks into the Toronto run of the UB National Tour, the earth turned over. I met Thomas Lindsay, the tour's new stage manager. Our eyes locked and everything changed for both of us. Thomas was smart, generous, sweet, short, and freckled. Damn, that sounds like Bertie Gordy, don't it? Because Bertie Gordy ain't, the best thing to look at. But it's just something about him, man. It's just something. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe. Like he looks like Barney Rubble, but at the same time, that he fight like Goliath. I couldn't wait to kiss his lips. I couldn't wait to feel his skin. And maybe Terry suggested that I calm down, helped me not to jump his bones immediately. Thomas was a really great stage manager who everyone liked. We talked until 2:30 a.m. the first time we met. We had dinner the next day. It was so nice to be with him. On our day off, we went to Yorkville neighborhood, had ice cream, and saw The Empire Strikes Back. We walked home. It was a beautiful, romantic night. Ooh, I love those nights when everything fall into place. Let me tell you something. That Texan, that's how that ninja got me. You got to be careful with them fire signs in a Libra, because we will romance the heck out of you. We will romance you up out of your drawers and your pocketbook. Long walks in the park, staring at the moon, flowers, all that stuff get me. All that stuff. One time I had a friend that ran in the snow to just cuddle with me. Child, that got me. I was done. I was like, you sure it's a blizzard outside, baby? You sure you want to come be with me? Like, yeah, anything. I don't mind. I ain't even had my parking permit, so he couldn't even park on my property. This ninja parked like 3 blocks away and jogged to my house in a blizzard to cuddle. Child, he had me. That next time we was together, we was together. We walked home. It was a beautiful romantic night. Around this time, a woman I knew, Kamako Baraka, called about a musical review, Foreplay, that she wanted to produce with me and Loretta Devine in the cast. I was intrigued by the title alone. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, have a good one. Peace. Child, I got to cook my wife dinner before she get home.